Northampton is the home of Robert UK and also of the Royal Derngate Theatre. We met the theatre's creative director, James Dacre, who gives us the lowdown on Made in Northampton and the central role that the theatre plays in the community.
So this is Northampton's Royal Theatre, which was built in the 1880s as one of the first examples of a civic theatre. It was designed by an architect called C.J. Phipps, who went on to design theatres across the country, from Edinburgh's Lyceum through to 4 theatres in the West End, and who built his reputation both because of the way in which he was able to create a sense of kind of real scale and grandeur in the theatres he designed, but also absolute intimacy. And both of those principles are reflected in the stage that you see behind me, which has one of the narrowest proscenium arches of any theatres in the country, but also has a real sense of height, a real sense of scale. And what that means is that all of the work that we make here has a quality of both being intimate and epic at the same time, 2 perfect ingredients for creating original drama. This theatre has, in the century since it was first constructed, continued to be a civic theatre that lies at the heart of its community. It was for many, many years Northampton Rep, and then the best part of 30 years ago it merged with the neighbouring Derngate next door, which we'll see a little later, to become Royal Derngate Theatre. And it's on this stage that we produce the majority of our homegrown work, which falls under the brand of Made in Northampton. We create seasons of work under the banner Made in Northampton because literally everything on our stage is created here on site. So every costume is stitched on site, every set is constructed and painted on site, every show that you watch in our theatres are rehearsed in our rehearsal rooms, every piece of music that you see has been commissioned and composed and recorded here on site again. And so that just offers a little bit of an insight into how central the ethos of making work is to everything we do. And we always say that we try in engaging the brilliant creative teams that we do, that the invitation is to create work that is artist-led but audience-focused. And what we mean by that is we really want to impassion and empower brilliant artists to come here and to make work with our on-site teams for our unique audiences. And I think really the big draw for any of the creative artists that we do work with to return here always is the encounter that they have with all of the brilliant technicians and our extraordinary practitioners in workshop, wardrobe, paint frame, costume and stage management, because those roles are the beating heart, the lifeblood of any theatre process, and no more so than here at Royal Derngate. So this is the Derngate Auditorium, which was built almost exactly a century after the Royal Theatre next door. It was built in the early 1980s, constructed in 1983, and when it was built it was one of the most technologically advanced theatre spaces in the world. And the thing that really made it unique was that it was an entirely flexible theatre space, and it continues to be so today, 35 years later. A key part really of the ethos of the way that this space was designed and continues to operate is to host a really wide range of work, which at its core has a really active programme of visiting theatre, visiting musicals, visiting one-night comedy and entertainment, but also hosts a really wide range of different civic events, from graduations through to local elections counts, or all kinds of events that we host on behalf of the town, whether they might be political events or each year's annual food and drink awards. And as such, it really is a space for our communities. It's been an incredibly difficult year for the sector, in which we have seen the great majority of venues across the sector lose between 80 and 90% of their monthly income and effectively exist on their reserves, their advanced ticket sales and any funding that they've been able to receive either from Arts Council England or from the local authorities. To that degree, it's been a very important year as well for our sector to be able to, I think, communicate on both a local and a national level quite what a significant social impact and financial impact they make. Just to provide a small example of that, here at Royal Derngate, we make a local economic impact of around £35 million a year, and for every pound of subsidy that is invested here at Royal Derngate, we go on to spend a further £9 to £12 on creating work, benefiting our communities, and ultimately benefiting the local and broader sector-wide economy. And so one of the key things I think campaigns like Light It in Red and Scene Change and the many other brilliant campaigns have been able to achieve is to really reiterate that case that actually these organisations are organisations that in most instances rely upon box office and secondary income for upwards of 80–90% of their income, and while subsidy is a crucial part of their existence, in most instances in 2020 it's a very small part of a broader picture in which theatre venues have learnt to become incredibly entrepreneurial and to really prioritise other income sources that allow them to be major drivers of local economic impact. However, another key argument has also been made over the last 6 months, and that's an argument I think that most of the public aren't aware of, which is that 70% of our broader workforce are freelancers. So that's effectively in the theatre sector up to 400,000 people, and a huge percentage of that group haven't been eligible for both the job retention scheme and also won't be eligible for the replacement to the job retention scheme that begins next month. This crucial argument of being able to really alert the general public to the way that so many hundreds of thousands of brilliant technicians, creatives and practitioners that work across all of the different departments of what it is that makes our sector unique is an argument that I think has only really been heard as a result of these vital campaigns. And frankly, we will not have a sector if it isn't for the 70% of freelancers that effectively create the work on our stages, perform it, market it, promote it, sustain it. And one of the things I think that has been so crucial to the argument that both Light It in Red and Freelance Make Theatres Work and Scene Change have made is that these organisations are nothing without the brilliant people that work in them. Variety is such an important part of what we do here, and that makes it really thrilling, and for me probably the most exciting hour of a normal day, and today is not a normal day because this is an empty auditorium at the moment, but the most exciting hour of every day is always from 7 o'clock onwards, when normally me and many of my colleagues try and pop down from the offices and really watch our audiences starting to congregate here in these public spaces. It's
Do you like taking the vibe?
Yeah, completely. It's the most exciting kind of part of the day, but also it's that moment when I think whether it's been a good day or a bad day, you remember why it is that we do what we do, and to see the enormous range of different people congregating in these spaces, sometimes thousands of people a night from all kinds of different backgrounds, from different towns and cities all across our region, all to spend a few hours together in a room watching the same story. That's a special and unique experience, and what an amazing privilege to have a job that enables you to come into contact with that every night of the week.